gonna go back to Hawkins' mansion. Sheet. Pierce woke up in an asylum, installed in the cellars of Riverside Institute. He met Dr. Colden, a female friend of Bradley, who helped him escape. Wandering through the corridors of the place where Dr. Fuller reigned supreme, Pierce was able to talk to a man called Francis Sanders before dying in the full view of the detective. He accused Sandra Hawkins of being the cause of this torment. Pierce finally left the accursed building, accompanied by Bradley and Colden. The companions in misfortune decide to use the Hawkins mansion as a hideout. Okay.
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
You need a drink? Oh, I'm here again. Looks nice.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce.
Hello.
How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Oh,
Mr. Pierce, are you all right?
Table. Okay.
You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
Okay, quick recap. For you, McRavo, and people who join in. I'm a detective. I've been sent to an island to investigate Sarah Hawkins' death, because apparently they died in a fire, but found out that some kind of cult thing has to do with it, and they murdered this guy, but apparently he's alive. And then we got thrown into that gas prison shit, and I escaped because we found out that the guy, the husband of Sarah, he had something to do with a cult under the house. So I can't say this because my occultism isn't good enough.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Yeah, dude.
Of course, he's a patient.
Has
Or
to be.
Was.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
got
him since Dr.
disemboweled.
Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
But he's fine, you know.
Knew
Walking
Sarah
around.
Hawkins. And that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Yeah.
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor.
Wee bit
He
tricky,
spoke of
but,
it like a living being.
I agree.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
No coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably
Maybe
how
you
they
can
met.
see the painting.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't
Yeah.
know the bottom of it.
You're right. Without a
This
plausible
case, you already think
explanation
he's
for
dead.
what I saw,
And can
let's
only
not
send
jump to
people
conclusions.
after me.
That seems wise indeed.
This
Very
will
well.
affect your destiny.
I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Getting a drink at the first fucking thing that I did in the game also affect my destiny. Where the fuck is she then? Oh, leave. Chapter 6, Sanders' Residence. Pierce, Colin and Bradley decide to team out to solve the Sarah Hawkins case. They have a new trail to follow. Francis Sanders, art collector and friend of the painter who died right in front of Pierce. Detective goes to his house in order to speak to his widow about the shambler that the unfortunate man mentioned before he died. Yeah. I don't trust the other two, the Colin and Bradley.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders?
They
I'm
want
a
some
private
fuck.
detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Ooh, her again.
Well, well. Look
She's
who's
a
here.
gang boss.
You know each other.
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker.
And they were doing some naughty stuff.
This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday.
I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was
I can
interned.
just
You,
blame
on
it all
the
on
other
the
hand, a
doctor.
perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
He died screaming right before my eyes.
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course.
This will affect your
Thank you
destiny.
for your kind words. Nobody in that
interested in
hospital would have
seeing
deigned to
the-
speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind.
Yeah, of course.
I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
I did the CPR. I hope that at the end you get to see like a tree, like they had in Detroit, become human. So you can see what choices you did. Yeah. Yeah.
So ask Fuller, he's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you, you'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me. His own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for him.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce.
He looked at some light.
I would be grateful if
became
you could
the
tell me
human
what you
corkscrew.
expect of me, and then leave.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the
Isn't
center
that
of the
dusty?
gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Yeah, nerd.
Who else
We found that
to paint such
on the
horrors?
fucking painting
Take a
list.
look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
Yes.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
You could just say yes.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it, I would urge you to make the most of your visit. Because I count on ridding myself of that thing as soon as I can.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Hey, this photograph I like to see.
Did she really care for him after all?
Oh, see the letter in which you demand the body of the deceased husband. I'm sorry to inform you that I cannot agree to return his body to you. At the moment of his interment, you sign a discharge allowing me to dispose of the body as see fit.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
This shit will make your retinas bleed. Holy fuck.
A house of artists. A house of artists.
House of artists.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
Well, I don't know.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel?
She looks a bit distraught.
She despises Sarah Hawkins, but it's the painting she truly hates. Why?
Because she had some weird ass fantasies about the shit.
The Shambler. I need to see it.
Okay. Why are all the doors locked? Like, what the fuck? The only lock I have in my room is fucking toilet. In the house here.
I could use one of those.
Yes. Take them, Dragus.
Strange. For
First,
months,
thank you,
Sarah
Mom, for
Hawkins
this
refused to
painting.
part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
For friendship has any meaning for you, please spare me the weight of this guilt. Can I be architect of your fall? Beg you, my dear friend, forget the shit. Well, that didn't really happen now, did it?
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
Yes.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Yeah.
Some can be more
Put it in a
fatal than
review.
others. What have you come looking for in this
wear
gallery?
sunglasses when you can press both your mouse buttons.
I have a well-off client in Boston who heard about the death of Francis Sanders and wanted me to size up his estate before making an offer to his widow.
Perfect, Detective. The pretext? the body language. I would have bought it if it was the first time I'd seen your face.
She's good.
You're a good talker, Pierce. Your story will do for the moment.
And you?
And what are you doing?
What brings you to the Sanders home?
Doing a little...
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network, and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Fitzroy's the captain who brought us here. Bit of a dick. Would you read the book? I'll read the book. Ooh. Oh, that looks nice. I want this book. An encyclopedia of monsters and unknown creatures. Cool. Yes. Ooh, got some points. Can make this Tomb Master. My sanity. I'm still stable. All good. Death of friends. Ooh, I missed an occultism here. A lot of things to do. Screw. Medicine. How's my medicine doing? Almost. Okay, this is the art gallery. Oh, this is one of his rituals, dagger shit. Oh, this is all pretty dope.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Yeah, dude. Sick. Oh, this thing looks dope. Yeah. I think so too. What up, man? He had some cool paintings. I know I have to go there, but I wanna look at all of these. It's pretty cool. Nice. Some suck.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
It's a collector. Huh. Okay.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
If you have the money for it, why the fuck not, you know? I would do it if I had the fucking shit for it. Okay, this should be the Shambler. Reef. Oh, the painting is changing. Yeah. cool.
What the hell was that?
I must not look at it. Fuck.
I can't even touch it. No choice. I must get rid of it.
Must get rid of it.
Yeah. Maybe I can use this dagger.
I will fuck you up, big boy. He fucked me up. No. Do I have to poke it in the back? Yeah, okay, we've seen this. Let's consult my diary.
What the hell was that? Yeah, maybe I can use this dagger.
Do I need to use a specific dagger? I think this one. Come then. I will fuck you up, big boy! Couldn't attack with it. Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
A few moments later.
That was weird.
2 hours later.
I will fuck you up, big boy!
1 eternity later.
I understand. I need to
What the
attack
hell
the
was
painting, not the thing. But you need a special dagger. I believe. No, it's not this one. I don't think it's. Oh. Hair in my mouse. Not that one. Not that one either.
This dagger looks different.
Yeah. This one has an over sign on it. Now I can murder this. Hey. Stick it in the face. Oh, or the arm. Do you get tentacles now?
What's the matter with you?
Nice.
You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective.
Yeah,
At this rate,
maybe a
you're
little bit.
right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
Huh. Shall I be honest? I was attacked by a creature, or do I say, nah, dude, I'm alcoholic? And maybe she wants to help me. I'll take.
I was
this.
attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
She believes me.
My arm was disappearing into this painting. You must have seen that.
I saw you put your trembling hands on a collector's artifact. Where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake.
Algernon
He's an
Drake.
antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it.
Nice.
From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
It's not your style to give me free information.
She likes
like
me.
that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I still got things to settle with Irene.
Fuck. The name of this bookstore, Chapter 7.